My childhood was filled with visions, demons, shadow figures. But at 15, I saw my own death.
Flatlining in childbirth. Years later, pregnant, I wondered if a prophecy so vivid could ever be escaped.
But the void didn't last. A shimmering, pulsing door of electric blue-white light materialized. And as I drifted closer, I knew. It was her. My great-grandmother, Zira. She looked at me, no words needed, just a knowing gaze. It was like she was saying, "Welcome, Elara. This is where the real story begins." The moment the mundane shatters and the impossible finds you. You think you know reality? My version includes flatlining, out-of-body adventures, floating through a cosmic darkness, and then a reunion. A reunion in a place more real than anything I'd ever known. They say these moments, these encounters with the beyond, they always lead back to one source. And trust me, mine did. You want to know what happened when I died giving birth to my son, Orion? How I walked into the light and met Zira, only for Jesus himself to reveal the ultimate future, the Rapture? Buckle up, because this isn't just a story, it's my story. And it began long before that hospital bed. My connection with Zira, it wasn't new. From the moment I was born, she looked at me, this tiny baby, and declared, "She is like me." No one got it, not really, but it stuck. A whisper of destiny, even then. Zira was more than a great-grandmother. She was the bedrock of our family, practically raised my father. So when I was just 7 and she died unexpectedly during open heart surgery, a hemorrhage, they said, it shattered everything. But for me, it was just the beginning. I was playing in my room, minding my own business, a regular 7-year-old. Then, poof, she was there, standing right in my bedroom. Not a ghost, not a dream, her. She walked to me, knelt down, her eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that could stop time. "Elara," she whispered, "your father's about to get a call. He's going to be heartbroken, but you need to tell him what I'm about to say." She gave me words, important words, that for the life of me I can't quite recall now. Maybe it's a blessing. My life has been a lot. Let's just say that. Minutes later, the old landline shrilled. My dad answered. I heard the crack in his voice, then the full-blown sobs as he crumbled to the floor. "Dad," I said, walking over, "Zira just told me to tell you." He looked up, his face wrecked, and just wept harder. It was soul-crushing for him. But then came the bombshell. Her will. She'd changed it. All the family heirlooms? Mine. A 7-year-old. You can imagine the family drama. Her children, my great aunts and uncles, dragged my parents to court. But a will is a will. It was legally binding. So yeah, I grew up with a ton of antique stuff and not a lot of answers about the woman who basically handed me a legacy.
Years later, in my 20s, I'm visiting my nan in North Carolina, Zira's daughter, mind you. Casually, I mention, "Remember when Zira died? It was wild. She actually appeared in my room and told me what to tell Dad." Nan just stared, her face drained of all color, like she'd seen a ghost herself. It was like I'd dropped a bomb and the fuse was just lit. Nan's face was chalk white. It was like I hadn't just said Zira appeared to me, but that she was Zira, standing right there. "Elara," she whispered, her voice a tremor. "My mother, your Zira, she used to do that, like all the time. She told me Zira would have tea with family members who had just died, right before the phone call came in confirming their passing. Apparently, they'd stop by Zira's on their way to the other side to deliver messages of comfort. It's going to be okay, we're loved, everything's fine." My nan thought it was just weird. For me, it blew my mind. Seriously. I've always been a bit different. A seer, they called me. Even as a baby, in my crib, I wasn't just seeing teddy bears. I saw orbs, shadow figures that made the hairs on my arms stand up. Yeah, like the Slender Man, before it was even a thing. This stuff never hid from me. Demons? Seen them. In their full, terrifying glory. As a kid, it was pure nightmare fuel. And my parents, bless their hearts, they just couldn't see it. Overactive imagination, Elara. It's not real, honey. Imagine being told the monsters under your bed are fake when they're literally staring you in the face. It messes with you. Hard. Then, at 15, the visions got dark. I started seeing my own death. Mid-20s, giving birth, hemorrhaging, bleeding out, gone. So when I found myself pregnant in my 20s, the terror was real, palpable. My first child, Elias, arrived when I was 19. No fear, no issues. But with my second, a daughter named Ren, at 21, total panic. My husband was deployed, so I clung to my mom. Please, Mom, don't leave my side. I keep seeing it. I'm going to bleed to death. I can't die. She stayed, and miraculously, perfect birth. No hemorrhage. It was unsettlingly normal. Almost like a cruel trick.
Years passed. I remarried, got pregnant again. But by this point, my body felt like a graveyard. 5 miscarriages. 5 tiny heartbeats that just stopped. Before Orion, there was another. We called him Leo. I was 18 weeks along when that familiar dread set in. Something's wrong, I told the doctor. He's not moving. The ultrasound confirmed my worst fears. His heart, silent. They sent me home, handed me pills, told me to pass him, alone. I labored through the night, a silent scream building in my chest. At 5 a.m., my water broke, and that's when the real nightmare began. My husband was at work. My friend Chloe, bless her, was supposed to just keep me company, but the contractions were crushing. My water broke, but nothing, just me. Then the bleeding started. Not a trickle, a torrent. I saw it on the toilet, and it was like a scene from a horror movie. Blood. Everywhere. Chloe, horrified, screamed, "Elara, this isn't right. You need a hospital now." I pulled on black clothes, thick pads, a towel between my legs. I was fading in and out, the world spinning. Chloe, a literal angel, threw me in her car, flooring it towards the ER. But it was 7 a.m., Texas, rush hour, a parking lot. Every second felt like a year, and I knew this was it. The vision. It was finally happening. Chloe was flooring it, but the clock was ticking, each second a hammer blow. 40 minutes, they said. 40 minutes of bleeding out on a Texas highway during rush hour. Impossible. She was praying, I was trying to, but mostly I was just fighting to stay conscious. Even through the haze, a sliver of my old self kicked in. My phone, my last act of conscious foresight. I thumb-typed a frantic message to Chloe, blood type, allergies, the whole damn medical history, just in case. And then a miracle, or a blur. Under 20 minutes. How? I still don't know how Chloe pulled it off, but we slammed into the ER bay. I tried to get out, stumbled, and that's when a security guard, bless his quick reflexes, caught me before I face planted. Wheelchair, rushed inside. "I'm dying," I choked out to the nurse at the desk, blood literally oozing between my legs. She gave me this patronizing smile. "Honey, it's okay, we'll get you sorted." Like I was just a drama queen. She hadn't seen the crimson trail I was leaving on her pristine floors. Then she checked my blood pressure. The smile vanished. Her eyes went wide. 60/42, she muttered, her voice now a frantic whisper. My world was going dark. Next thing, I was being power-wheeled down a hallway, her hands gripping me like a lifeline, shouts of code blue echoing around me. Trauma room. The chaos was a blur. 1 second, I was there, fading in and out. The next, poof, I was looking down. Yep, me. Floating. My body a puppet on a string, surrounded by a swarm of frantic doctors and nurses. I had flatlined, just like the vision. And Chloe, Oh, my sweet Chloe. She was there, a ghost in the corner, paralyzed by horror. Her legs were twitching, a nervous tick, but she was frozen. Her gaze kept darting from my lifeless body to her phone. I'd made her promise, begged her not to call my ex-husband until I was stable. I knew what would happen if he found out I died like this. No more kids, no more chance at a family. It was a cruel burden I'd placed on her. They were a kaleidoscope of scrubs, a flurry of motion, doctors barking orders, nurses jamming IVs into my arms, my legs trying to find a vein. One even tried my neck, a desperate measure, but nothing. It was like my body was already giving up, rejecting the fight. It was bizarre, a 360-degree crystal clear view of everything. Every panicked face, every frantic movement, every drop of blood. But here's the kicker. I wasn't scared, not an ounce. Instead, it was this profound, enveloping peace, like a cosmic hug, like all the world's worries just melted away. Then the scene dissolved. The trauma room, the frantic faces, my broken body, all gone. I was in the void, that utter, profound darkness I already told you about, floating. But it wasn't cold, wasn't scary. It was a cocoon, a supernatural comfort, a peace so deep it swallowed every fear, every instinct. Even my children, my beautiful Elias and Ren. At that time, they were in a hellish situation with their biological father. Child services, removals, it was a constant battle. Yet floating in that darkness, the primal urge to protect them, to fight for them, it was gone, replaced by a serenity I can't even describe. It was like I was wrapped in the universe's softest blanket, utterly safe, utterly at peace. It truly was a cocoon, a sanctuary in the infinite black. And then there it was, shimmering, pulsing, a door of electric blue-white light beckoning from the velvet dark. And there it was, shining. A door, but not just a door, a gateway of pure, electric blue-white light. I drifted closer, my entire being pulled by an invisible current, until I was right there. One moment I was horizontal, wrapped in that cosmic peace, and the next I was standing upright, face to face with the impossible. It was her, my great-grandmother, Zira. But not the Zira I knew from old photos. She was young, vibrant, in her 30s, glowing with an otherworldly energy. Yet I recognized her instantly. It was my Zira. A wave of pure joy hit me, a reunion I didn't know I desperately craved. She reached out, her hand warm and gentle, and a soft smile played on her lips. Her eyes, those same knowing eyes, locked onto mine. "Elara," she whispered, her voice like chimes. "It's not your time."
No, I tried to grab her hands, to cling to that moment, to that profound peace. I screamed, a silent internal roar. No, I didn't want to leave. After tasting that serenity, after knowing what true peace felt like, returning to Earth, to this life, felt like a betrayal. But just as slowly and gently as I had arrived, I was slammed back. It was instantaneous, brutal, like being hurled through a wormhole and spat back into a meat suit. Every single cell in my body screamed to life, 1,000 pins and needles times 1,000, burning through me. It was agonizing. Every nerve ending lit up in a symphony of searing pain. I was back, and it hurt. God, it hurt. Days, then weeks, then a couple of months blurred into recovery, and then another vision hit me. This one was different. Weird. I'm in blue jeans and boots, a purple tank top. I'm kneeling in a garden, hands deep in the rich, dark soil, aerating it. And these tomatoes? Massive, vibrant red, like something out of a dream. Never seen anything so perfect. Suddenly, a warm breeze kisses my back. I look up. The sun is on my face, the air is sweet, and then, bam, it's a time lapse, just like in the movies. 1 second, it's brilliant daylight. The next, in less than a blink, it's pitch black. Stars, millions of them, explode across the sky. A cold breeze wraps around me from a different direction. I look at those stars and I know it's a different season. Summer to fall, just like that. I'm still staring at the cosmos, and then, against my own will, my arms shoot out, straight to my sides, then rise up, like I'm getting ready to worship, to embrace something vast and unseen. And then I hear it. Zira's voice, in my head, in my soul. She is like me. And then I'm not on the ground anymore. I'm lifted, straight up, higher and higher, into the stars, into that infinite canvas. That vision hit me back in 2015. But get this, in the last year or so, the Rapture visions, they've kicked into overdrive. I've been shown incredible, terrifying details about the last days, and guys, we are living it right now. I'm seeing earthquakes, volcanoes erupting, fires, floods, storms so supernatural, they defy logic. The stuff you see on the news, that's just the beginning. One vision in particular shook me to my core. A 3-day period. God showed me graves, bones, literally reforming, knitting back together, muscles, skin, growing over them. Then they rose, out of the earth, up into the sky. And during that whole 3-day window, I heard his instruction, clear as day. Stay inside your home. Do not come out. He then pulled back the curtain on what's coming to Earth during that period. And y'all, it's a waking nightmare. I'm talking grotesque, violent, pure, unadulterated darkness. I barely even like thinking about it, let alone trying to articulate the sheer depravity. Beasts like something ripped from the deepest hell, stalking the ravaged land. And demons? Oh, they're right there, shoulder to shoulder, a chilling carnival of the damned. I'm convinced a good portion of them are those ancient Nephilim, back to wreak havoc. They're not just tormenting, they're annihilating humans. And the twist? People join in. It's a bloodbath, a replay of the days of Noah, but cranked to 11. His voice clear as a bell cut through the terror. Elara, when that time comes, lock down. Stay in your home. Stay in my presence. Keep your eyes locked on me, and no harm will touch you. He's basically been putting me through an accelerated divine boot camp. But listen, the last year, my visions, if you can even call them that, have gone absolutely wild. I don't know how else to say it, but I'm practically commuting to heaven now. Every few days, I'm up there with the Lord, having these intense, mind-blowing conversations. He's not just showing me things, he's training me. Right now, it's all about spiritual warfare. He literally brought me into a battle room, a celestial war council, if you will. He even gave me a sneak peek at our battle gear for when we return, warring alongside him after the 1,000-year reign. Guys, it's beyond comprehension. The things I've witnessed, the knowledge imparted, it's mind-bending. And heaven itself? Wow. Seriously, wow doesn't even begin to cover it. Our earthly vocabulary just crumbles trying to describe it. Imagine colors that don't exist here, vibrant, shimmering hues that are alive. Because everything up there, it's alive. The grass isn't just green, it breathes, it pulses, it subtly responds to your presence. Everything has a consciousness, an energy. And then there's the temple. Oh, the temple. I've been there, with Jesus, right by the altar. And beside it, a sword. Not just any sword. It floats, suspended in mid-air, wreathed in a dancing electric blue flame. But the wildest part is the altar itself. There's a human heart, just floating there. And it beats.
The first time he took me, I just stared, utterly bewildered. The temple itself is blinding. Gold everywhere. Gleaming columns stretch into infinity. The walls, covered in what I can only call angelic script, a language of light and grace, fluid and alive. It's lit not by lamps, but by pure living fire. And the most insane thing, no shadows, none. Zero. Everywhere is bathed in light, a brightness that somehow never feels harsh, just all-encompassing. No corner, no crevice for darkness to hide. And this heart, right? It's suspended right there over the altar, completely engulfed in that holy fire. I was so confused. What was I even looking at? Trying to wrap your human brain around divine concepts? It's a challenge, to say the least. So I finally just asked him, Lord, what is this? What does it mean? And then I heard it, Abba's voice, not just in my head, but resonating through the very fabric of existence, a voice that was love and power all at once. He said, Elara, this is my warrior's heart. And then he looked at me, a gaze that pierced through everything, and continued, it beats inside every single one of you. But here's the truth. Some of you choose to step into the fire, to embrace it, to let it consume you wholly. And then there are those who reject the flame. They push it away, and in doing so, it scorches their heart. It hardens them. And I weep for them. That hit me hard. It was like a spiritual gut punch. To realize his unending love even for those who turn away, and to know his sorrow for the hardened hearts, it shattered me. My heart just broke for humanity, for every lost soul out there rejecting the very fire that could transform them. And just like that, a new directive clicked into place. This year, this moment, the Lord has called me into that specific battlefield, reaching those lost, those scorched. He's been preparing me for this, for us. This life, it's been a wild ride, no joke. But here's the kicker. I didn't just hear about Jesus, I met him. In heaven, face to face. And trust me, incredible doesn't even scratch the surface. You want to know how this happens? How I commute to heaven, as I put it? It's not a dream, guys, not some hazy vision. These are open-eyed encounters. I'll be in worship, really letting loose, just roaring with the Spirit, and then it's like a switch flips. My husband, bless his heart, says I just go still. My eyes, they glaze over. He calls it glassed over. Sometimes I'll sway a little, sometimes I'll even laugh or tremble, but my body, it's right here, grounded. But I'm not. My soul, my spirit, it's like it detaches, portals into another dimension. You're literally looking at someone who's half in this world, half in the next. So how do I plug into that kind of connection? How do I get to that heaven-bound state? It's not rocket science, but it takes devotion. Every single day I'm with the Lord. First thing in the morning, while I'm getting ready, it's praise and worship blasting. I'm singing my heart out, just soaking in his presence, thanking him for everything. Gratitude, guys, it's key. And here's the secret sauce. Even when life hits hard, and believe me, it has, I thank him. I find the lesson, the silver lining. A grateful heart, constant praise, that's my fast pass to the divine. That deep, intimate connection, that's when he pulls me up. Because when you truly abide in his love, when you're fully immersed in that worship, even amidst the absolute chaos, that's when heaven opens up. And trust me, I know chaos. The enemy, he's been trying to take me out since day one. And when he couldn't get to me directly, he went for my kids. You heard that right. Last summer, 2 of my teenage sons, my boys, Leo and Orion, were human trafficked by a gang. Yeah, you heard me. My life became a living nightmare. I was coordinating with multiple police departments, even the FBI, just to piece things back together. It was the deepest, darkest pit I've ever had to crawl through. But here's the truth I learned in that refiner's fire. Even when your world is crumbling, when it feels like everything is lost, you can still praise him. Flowers do still grow in the valley, even when it feels impossible. And yes, you bet your bottom dollar, I got my sons back, safe, protected, and getting the help they needed. Because even in the shadows, his light breaks through.
They're back, they're safe, and we're picking up the pieces. But listen, when your sons, your children are ripped into that kind of darkness, there's always a ripple effect. They're at that age, that accountability age, and they had hundreds of thousands of dollars dangled in front of their faces. Do this, do that, and it's all yours. Imagine the psychological warfare.
The damage, it's not just physical. It's deep, it's insidious, and it breaks your heart all over again. Speaking of heartbreaking and spirit lifting, you interrupted me, but you had to know this. You want to talk about meeting Jesus? Like, really meeting him? Buckle up. The first time I ever saw Jesus, not just heard, not just felt, but saw him, it was this year. We were at our small group, just my husband and I, with a couple who just walked through unimaginable loss. They were pouring their hearts out, and we were pouring prayer over them. And when I pray, especially for something so raw, I pray in tongues. It's my secret weapon, my direct line. The enemy has no clue what I'm saying, can't map out my weaknesses. It's a direct broadcast to Abba, straight to his heart. He hears it. And even if you can't speak in tongues, your tears, they're just as powerful. I was sobbing, praying in tongues, praising him for the life they did get to carry, however brief. And then it happened. My eyes, wide open, were suddenly seeing beyond the room. Jesus himself walked over to the grieving woman. He knelt down right in front of her, at her feet, a posture of pure humility and comfort. He reached out, his hand gentle, and touched her belly, her abdomen, like he was tending to the sacred space where life had once bloomed. He looked up, a soft, understanding smile on his face, and then, just like that, the vision dissolved. That was it. My first visual, undeniable encounter with Jesus. No interaction, not yet, but I saw him. Usually it's different. When I'm in heaven communicating with the Lord, it's pure telepathy. No mouths moving, no spoken words. You think it, they hear it. They think it, you hear it. Spirit to spirit. It's the ultimate connection. And another thing about heaven, you don't really walk anywhere. You just think it and you're there. Poof. Instantaneous transport. He's shown me my own personal pasture up there, a vibrant green haven with a magnificent tree nestled by a breathtaking river. It's straight out of Psalm 23. My husband helped me connect the dots. That's where he takes me when my soul needs calming before he drops the next mission on me. It's my ultimate peace. Now, I know what you're thinking. Elara, how do I get there? How do I tap into that? Listen, it's not some mystical cheat code, but there is a playbook. The biggest thing, posturing your heart. I teach my sons, Leo and Orion, they're also seers and dreamers, the same thing. Keep your heart aligned with the Lord. How? Daily immersion in the Word. You have to be in it. It doesn't mean reading 5 chapters every morning. It means being there consistently, even a few verses. Read it. Listen to it, absorb it. That repetition, that consistency, it's how you know him. And you can't truly have a relationship with the Lord until you truly know the Lord. Because the enemy, he's lurking, always trying to blind you to that truth.
The enemy, though, he's a master manipulator, always whispering lies, trying to trick us into thinking God's against us. How do you combat that? You get to know your Father, like really know him. And the roadmap, the blueprint for that, it's his word. Daily. Not just some dusty book gathering cobwebs. And here's another secret weapon, a literal game changer. Worship. Don't just sing along, worship. It's not just a song, it's warfare. And trust me, when you're drowning in sorrow, when grief is a physical weight crushing your chest, when you're staring into the abyss of hopelessness, that's when you crank up the praise. That's when you open your mouth and you just roar his goodness, even if your tears are blurring your vision. Because something shifts. I felt it. That heavy, suffocating blanket of despair, it starts to lift. You feel lighter, freer, back in his presence. You know what he says, right? My yoke is easy, my burden is light. And it's not some spiritual cliche, it's the absolute truth. But you gotta live it. And living it means a real, raw relationship. Not just quoting verses like a robot. No, it's about hanging out with him. Every single day. It's part of my DNA now. It's in the car, blasting praise on my way to grab my sons from school. It's a constant conversation, telling him how mind-blowingly awesome he is, even when the world's trying to convince me otherwise. So, what's blocking us from that kind of connection? Two colossal roadblocks: pride and shame. That gnawing feeling that you're not good enough, that you're too messed up, too much of a sinner to stand in his pure presence. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But here's the cosmic plot twist. When you lean into him, really seek him out, you start to see yourself through his eyes. And let me tell you, you are precious, irreplaceable. That's when pride starts to crack and shame, that slimy little liar, loses its grip. Shame loves to hide, often masquerading as anger. We rage, God, why did you let this happen? But he didn't. The enemy did. And while you were going through hell, God, he was right there, weeping with you, longing to pull you close. We live in this me, myself, and I world, so it's hard to grasp, but shift that spotlight onto him and everything changes. My biggest takeaway from this whole wild journey, the one truth that anchored me through every storm, every battle, every moment I thought I wouldn't make it: I am worthy of his love, and I am utterly, irrevocably loved by him. For so long, I didn't get it. And when I didn't, the enemy's attacks weren't just attacks, they were soul-crushing sieges that settled deep within, festering. Painful doesn't even begin to cover it. But that's the refiner's fire, isn't it? If you're in it right now, lean into it, don't run. Let those raw, messy emotions surface. Feel them, process them, and then once that space is cleared, fill it with his spirit, his word, his relentless, consuming love. It's not just a change, it's a total metamorphosis. Get rooted, get grounded in love. There's no other way. Even amidst life's most unimaginable trials and spiritual battles, an unwavering connection with the divine is our ultimate anchor. Through consistent worship, profound gratitude, and daily immersion in his word, we can transcend chaos and access a peace that surpasses understanding. Overcoming pride and shame by embracing God's relentless love transforms suffering into a refiner's fire, preparing us for a higher purpose. When we truly abide in him, heaven opens and his warrior's heart beats within us, empowering us to overcome anything. Share your thoughts and don't forget to follow God's Voice for You channel to discover more meaningful stories.